Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. We've got your butter on top MUFASA, and of course our drunk classic Atomic Blonde. Let's go. Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. All right, so let's start this off with an open discussion because Sonic destroyed Mufasa at the box office for opening day.
Sonic?
And Sonic 3 has 90 in Rotten Tomatoes. It's got like a 9 on IMDb. It's apparently an amazing, phenomenal movie. But
Is it possible?
I don't know. Keanu Reeves.
Sonic has a vicious, ferocious following.
Yeah, but nobody liked 2 with Knuckles and Tails.
Sometimes you can forgive a movie for the overall.
Yeah, and it's Shadow the Hedgehog specifically has a
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, the Hedgehog.
Shadow Hedgehog is big time. Ever since like 20 years later, he's like still got a massive following.
Yeah,
And
I think I was still in high
never
school when he was
He's never
released.
been in a good video game. I don't get it. I mean, how
No,
can you care?
that's not true. That's not true. The one on Dreamcast was great.
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle?
I don't know. I've never played that one. But the one on Dreamcast with Sonic where Shadow gets introduced, where you like the first game where you meet Shadow.
Yeah.
That game was awesome. And then you also meet the little Batgirl that's like Knuckles' alternate person.
They remade it for GameCube. It's the same game.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, that game was great. You didn't like it,
It's great.
Josh?
Fantastic game. With the
Hated
chows.
it.
Yeah.
It's
Why?
like some of the worst video game design I've ever seen. Great cinematics though.
You get to raise little things that you
Chows,
find
yeah.
in the worlds, and then you can
Yeah.
race them. What were they called, Jordan?
Chows.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And they're in the movie too. So.
Are they?
But
Why are you so upset about this? I don't understand why you're.
Because I'm a social democrat and I'm a Sonic Republican. Bring back old Sonic, make Sonic great again. I just want him running down one direction, jumping, and
Grabbing
getting
them
raised.
rings and things.
Well, how come we got to talk about chows and introduce little bat women and cater to the furry community? I mean, no offense to the furry community. I'm just saying, like, can I just have Sonic running and killing robots? Give me more robots. Anyway.
Josh is like, what the F is a shadow? This isn't Peter Pan.
Rufio?
Yeah,
Rufio?
the movie theater was packed with Sonic fans. I'll say that. Grown-ups dressed in full cosplay going to watch Sonic.
Oh, wow. I guess Josh was right. Maybe it is the furry community. Anyway, so I've been, like, terribly sick. And I went to see Mufasa on Friday, night. And I was feeling a little bit better. And then Saturday, it hit me again. Boom. But I was sick all week. And you guys ever go through this where you try to beat a sickness? Like, you try to outwork it? So I was like trying to take my Dayquil like every 4 hours, like it says on the bottle, not exceeding 4 doses. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You'll never know. But then I'd go to the gym and I try to like work it out, right? Sweat it out at the same time, cleaning up all my stuff. Don't worry, I'm cleaning all my stuff when I'm done.
Vomiting everywhere.
But then I did almost throw up like one of the workouts, and I just thought it's because I was going so hard. But I wasn't. I was sick.
We're decomposing.
And then come Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But then come Thursday, boom, like a punch in the face. It hit me so hard. And even people at work were like, go home, dude. Why are you here? Like, you look terrible. Yeah. And then Friday morning, I wake up and Anna says, don't go to work. You look awful. So Friday night, I felt a little bit better than Saturday, a vengeance. And today, obviously, I'm a little bit more perky than I was. But you guys ever try to do that? Try to hammer out a sickness, try to beat it?
Yeah. Yeah, you ever just, like, be in your house and just screaming into the universe, no! Just trying to, like, use your willpower to make it disappear?
Yeah. Except I don't try to beat it. I beat it.
You beat it?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What is this, losing to sickness?
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah.
I've never had a virus.
Yeah.
Never been a loser.
50-0.
Sorry.
50-0, baby.
All right, so let's get into this Mufasa, because it seems like Disney live action or live action animation has an issue. And it's that people don't want to see it, I guess. It's weird. Like, we all get very excited, and then we see it, and it's not what we wanted. Now this, I will say they did a much better job of giving the animals emotion than they did in The Lion King, which the big hit for The Lion King was like, I can't see the emotion in a live action animation. It's just a lion kind of talking. Here, you get some smiles, you get some emoting from the animals. Still a little rough. The graphics, though, were amazing. The animation's phenomenal. Yeah. It's so good. It is so good the way the hair moves when the lions get wet, the way the water moves across their fur, the way they look. It was so good. The villain song was rough, I will say that. That one, I can't remember even what it was. It was like
the bye-bye song.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, that one.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I didn't like that too much. I think they tried to make it too Scar-esque, like Beware style, and it just wasn't feeling it. It was weird. The Malele song was the best song in the whole movie. I will say that at the very beginning, Mufasa's parents' song. But outside of that, I don't know. It was I liked it. I liked the movie. Jordan, what did you think? I'm gonna stew on this for a moment. Read my review.
Well, yeah, the graphics were incredible. My wife was like, what, is this like live action, or is they using like real lions and they're just CGing their mouths? And I'm like, no, this is CG. Yeah. It was fantastic. The voice acting was super mid for as much of like a good cast they had.
Yeah, I agree.
The only one that was really good was Rafiki.
Yep.
The voice acting of Rafiki was incredible.
You don't see how Simba's voice is going to eventually translate into James Earl Jones at all. It was way too like, hey, I'm a boy band.
Yeah.
Mufasa's voice.
But
the whole movie.
I know they probably workshopped it, and they couldn't have given him a deep voice and have it make sense to the crowd. Like, because James Earl Jones has always sounded like James Earl Jones. You know what I mean? So when he was 19, he still sounded like, Mufasa. But it just looks weird on a little baby lion.
The music was bad, but I mean, it was set up for failure because The Lion King, the part 1, has some of the greatest Disney songs of all time in it. So it's just like
Elton John wrote it. So
yeah, you're not gonna compete with it, but it also feels like they kind of try to write adjacent songs. Like the songs are eerily similar, but they just don't hit the mark at all.
Yeah,
they're great value brand.
Well, when you try to imitate too hard or shove yourself into a crowd, it's obvious.
Yeah, and specifically that Bye Bye song. Another problem with it, and the songs in general, is that you can't understand what they're saying, and that just goes along with the voice acting. Maybe they're very garbled. They're the words they're using and stuff.
Garbo.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're not familiar with our rating system, audience, we use 1 popcorn to kind of set a standard, and then we add 1 beer, 2 beers, or 3 beers. 3 beers is obviously the max. Great movie, must see. Poppin' 2, respect. This is a good movie. You should probably go out and see. Popcorn 1 is, you know what? It wasn't terrible, wasn't great. It was just mid. All right. So for this one, I'm gonna go popcorn 1, but I do think they missed the mark quite a bit. I do love a quote from Rafiki in the movie, and it was, it's easy to doubt everything when you know nothing. And I'm like, boom, hey, everybody, listen to who they're talking to. Conspiracy theorists around the world that don't want to do anything besides their confirmation bias. Like, yes, it's pretty easy to doubt everything when you refuse to accept anything as like, science, I guess, would be a starting point. Anything like that. So I thought that quote was awesome, and the way it was delivered was fantastic. I thought that the father of Tucka was played well as a cowardly lion until he got demolished. I wish we could have seen him get demolished, but we didn't get to see him get demolished. That was lame. There's a lot of places where I was like, okay, we could do a little bit more of the fighting. We could do a little bit more action here. Like, you don't have to pull away, right? Like, we could see something and then leave. But every single scene, Joshua, was left to the imagination. It's like they would immediately, like, they'd start something and then go black to the next scene. It's like, no, like, give me more here. It'd be more interesting. I'd be more invested if I could see some of this. But they immediately go black and go to your imagination.
Budgetary, I'm sure.
No, I think it's PG stuff.
You want to see some lions humping is what you want. You want to see the whole circle of life.
Scar's turn is it's abrupt to the point where it just doesn't, you don't get it at all. It's just he's being a big baby. It's a little lazy. the meta-ness, there is some meta-ness involved in this, where Timon and Pumbaa, because it's the way that they outline the movie is that they have Rafiki telling the daughter, what's the daughter's
Kira.
name? Kira. They're having him tell the story of the grandfather Mufasa. And, throughout it, Timon and Pumbaa are making commentary, and they're like, oh my God, they made a play about us. I haven't gotten to see it, but it's fantastic. I've heard it's blah, blah, blah. They're talking about things that are like real, and that's kind of their part in the movie. And it's a little annoying, honestly.
Wait, there's a play about the Lion King?
Yeah, a Broadway. Yeah. I agree with you though. It's a popcorn and one. I thought it was okay. Just, the music. But that's the thing with these Disney movies is if the music isn't good, the music is like 25% of the movie. So if you don't nail that, you're losing serious points. So popcorn and one.
Popcorn one?
So much meat left on the bone here. They could have done so much more with this, and they half-assed what could have been a great story is what it felt like. They just honed it in. We watched a 2-hour movie for our Drunk Classic this week, and Josh woke up, rolled out of bed, and said, let me watch this last half hour. And he did it. He managed. He got in that last half hour. All right. So, Josh, let's start with you on this week's Drunk Classic, starring Charlize Theron, John Goodman, and James McAvoy in Atomic Blonde.
Her name's actually pronounced Shaji Vijabi. This was a movie that was surprisingly good. I never saw it. It looked good in the trailers when it was coming out, but like my family was like, don't watch that. It was weird. I didn't get it. And I get why they didn't get it. It wasn't not entirely clear of a movie, but as far as spy movies go, it fits right in. And it's a spy movie. Takes place during the fall of the wall in Ball. Oh, I tried to rhyme that. Berlin. But it was cool. Like, it does a lot of reminiscent of Suicide Squad graphics and stuff with the spray paint and like the cuts and the heavy colors. The heavy colors, I was like, wow, this is John Wick. This was the inspiration for John Wick, even though it came out like 4 years later or something. But it is the same director and the same stunt crew, and they actually sparred together. I'm told, like when they were both working on films.
Really?
Yeah. So they've been
That's
friends a
pretty
long
cool.
time, probably since Devil's Advocate, and they trained in the same gym for stunt stuff. So that was interesting. Cool movie. A lot of bit mixed up gravy plots, but it seems like it all fits together. So you kind of have to watch it again just to like see it. Do you want to? I'm not sure how much did the fight scenes grip you. I thought the fight scenes were good, but they for some reason didn't quite do it for me. Maybe
The stairwell fight scene is one of the best fight scenes ever.
I was trying to figure out which one was the one you said was really great, and you're right. That was really great. I thought it was the rope one when she has the rope. A lot of fun.
Whipping
Yeah.
them all over the apartment.
Voice down because that rope fight scene, she did a lot of genital shots. So it's like just too many. That's too much. Too much. But yeah, the stairwell fight scene, I noticed halfway through, no cuts. It was a one take, and it looks like it was all her. And the spiral staircase, Daredevil 2, season 2 did that. Remember?
Yeah.
It's a little. They had drone technology, so this one not having that was really impressive. How did you? It was cool. Great choreography. Charlize Theron plays the best version of James Bond, female style, just like Daniel Craig said. We don't need a female James Bond. Just make a cool spy. That's Charlize Theron here. She was great. Skarsgård, what? Popcorn and one.
This is like the beginning of his big movie roles, right?
Yeah.
It's like, because this was a major film, and this is Skarsgård just shows up. Bill Skarsgård just shows up, and there he is, a good guy too.
I'm here. Just like a lot like Tom Hardy. Like he was that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like there's a scene, another fight scene. There's a lot of fight scenes in this movie. There's a lot. The car fight scene,
multiple car fight scenes.
Yes, she takes off her heel, her LV, and just beats him with her LV. Like that was nuts. But I love that the guy's just walking around with keys stuck in his face, and the keys are just in his face. But Jordan, what did you think?
Yeah, they got ambitious with the triple double crossing. You know, he's Satchel, she's Satchel. Maybe I'm Satchel. I don't know. You know, we got the CIA, the KGB, the MI6. Who gives it? You know, it's like
the
who
French,
ca- it's
the French
It's like-
spots.
yeah.
It's
At
it's
this,
like who cares?
who
Because
cares?
there's so many interested parties. It's like, all right, come on.
Yeah, I don't
What was
care.
even
Just
on the list? I don't even know.
the action was what
Every
we were.
spy's name. It was every spy in the area revealed. So,
got
and then that's what they thought. And then they found out later, no, it's not just every spy in Berlin. It's every spy's like location and
Oh.
identity is revealed. Yeah.
The action is, you know, is what we're here for. She's gonna kick your ass in some club boots and a white coat and not get a single stain on it. You know, it's one of those movies.
But
Action
she's
movies,
going to be bruised up.
Yeah,
Like
she
she
yeah,
was
yeah.
bruised up.
She took some hits.
oh yeah, everything is a weapon in this movie, and I like that kind of action. That's always fun. How they get creative with that stuff. The tension between Sophia Boutella and Charlize is another thing that we're here for. They were great together. They were a great pair. It's gritty. It's fast paced. It's hard to. I know the big problem with these is like it's hard to buy a man, let alone a woman, getting punched in the face multiple times by a big man and still keep getting up.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
Yeah,
She got messed up, dude.
yeah. They're just constantly throwing her around the room, and it's just like, oh god. And some of the slow-mo stuff gets a little indulgent at times. Like they're just slow-moing for no reason at certain points. It's like, come on.
Taking a sip of Stoli.
Yeah. Yeah. I give this a popcorn in one.
So this was the go ahead. Oh, pop in one. This what'd you give it, Josh?
I say pop in one. It was definitely solid.
Yeah, this was the start of a little run for Sophia Boutella. She went on a little run after 2017 where she's in like The Mummy. You know what it culminated in? It culminated in Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. So she worked her way all the way to that masterpiece. But yeah, she went on a little run there. She was the Mummy. She was the new Mummy. Yeah, she was supposed to be the start of the Monsterverse with Tom Cruise and the Mummy. And that never took off. I thought John Goodman is a gem. John Goodman plays low-key better than almost anyone. Like
he's the best character actor.
He's so good, but he's so good at being low-key. Just even in The Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
Like as the father, like, and then when he pops off, you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming, because he's so good at being just low-key, delivering one-liners through
He's
and
just
through.
got the gravitas, man.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
you want to watch.
In the
Gravitas.
interrogation, I'm sorry. Did she say something? I could have sworn I heard her say something.
Would you like to run the tape back?
Mm.
It was good. It was fantastic. I kind of like the double, triple down. James McAvoy's character, when you think he's breaking that fourth wall, but he's not. He's actually talking to Charlize Theron's character, who's got him at gunpoint outside the club because she has now caught him after he did what he does to Sophia. So that whole connection too, that love connection between Sophia, James, and then Sophia, Charlize, who's playing who's being serious, why are the French involved in spy games? And of course, it's kind of funny because she is the weakest link, right? Sophia's character, the French spy, is the weakest link. Like, I'm scared, I don't know what's happening, how did I get myself into this? I just wanted some action, boom, dead. Like, so they really played the French in this. They're like, yeah, French, you're gonna be the weak one. But that whole love triangle was interesting. It made the movie more interesting when you find out she's already been working with James McAvoy's character for a while there. And do we know if he knows that she's a spy also, or did Charlize Theron just figure this out? And then that plot is revealed later on. Go ahead, Josh.
I just wanted to ask about him in general. In the end, who is he working for? And what's the context of I love
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
I think he's working for the Soviets. I think he wanted chaos, anarchy. He wanted to run Berlin as an underground drug lord.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Picked up.
I like the
When
way
he
you said
went
that.
native-
The Soviets. They sound like a dance troupe.
Oh yeah.
But like, I mean, like if you look at when they first introduce him, that dude's living the life as a spy in Berlin. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think that's the point too. It's kind of like you're stuck in the Matrix and you don't care. He's like, I got it going on right now.
Yeah, Cyrus style, where he's like, as long as I get to keep eating this juicy steak, I don't care. That's probably what it was. I love the watchmaker too, the little watchmaker that holds all the spies.
We'll
Can
go
I-
stick it.
Can I sample the product?
No, the bleep you can't. He just walks out. But yeah, that was good. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a popcorn and 2. I like the action in this movie. I think it's a top-notch action film. I think Charlize is amazing in her role. There are a lot of genital shots, but when you think about it, you guys are like, how many times can a lady take a shot from a full-grown dude that's bigger than most men you've ever met in your life and get up? Yeah, that's why she has to do the genital shots, Josh, over and over and over
I
again.
understand, and that's very realistic. I mean, that's always what I want to do is just like go straight for nuts if I'm fighting somebody. I don't play.
I want to cut out if I'm fighting somebody. I just want to clip now. I always just go straight for nuts. We could use it in so many settings. Like,
let me run it. Next time I come and see you, I'm coming straight for those nuts.
When we come into the bar, I go straight for the nuts. When I hit up in Texas Roadhouse, I go straight for the nuts. All right, so let's move on to what we were watching. It sounds like it wasn't everybody's favorite drunk classic, but it wasn't a downer for people. And it's Josh's first scene.
Solid.
Okay. All right. So Jordan, you and I both watched. Jordan, I said Jordan. He yelled yes. So Jordan, you and I both watched Conclave this week. Did you watch it on Peacock?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure did.
All right.
Oscars?
No.
Rafe is great. I will say Rafe is great, but like that's John. Actually, John's pretty good. Lithgow's kind of got a thing going on a little bit. He's well acted. The Italian, he overacts a bit, and then it's not super. I don't know. Jordan, go ahead. You start.
Yeah, we got Fiennes, Lithgow, and Tucci. Stanley Tucci.
Tucci gang, baby.
And this movie is about, when a pope dies, what do the other popes or the other cardinals do to try to elect another pope, like the process of it. But it is highly, highly dramatized.
You think?
Okay.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think it's like that. I think it is lobbying. I think they are fighting with each other.
The hallway's always dark and dimly lit.
Yeah.
Actually, they look like they're living it up a little bit in this movie, bro. Like, their hotel rooms are like 3 bedrooms, like 3 rooms, and they've got like beautiful people cooking for them, guards outside their rooms, beautiful gardens. I was like, I don't know, man. It kind of looks like they're living it up.
No, they're chilling. They're big chilling. Apparently, when a pope dies, somebody has to pry his pope ring off of his cold dead pope finger, and then they like do something with it. And that was weird. I was like, there's just some generally weird traditions that you get a peek into. They got a thing for silly hats and lots of accessories and stuff. A lot of Latin in this movie, a lot of Latin being spoken with no subtitles. You're supposed to just go, okay, this is like Latin Pope talk. That's cool.
Top bigotry too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bigotry.
But yeah, cardinals are prejudiced. Yeah.
Good job.
Cardinals are super prejudiced, apparently. There's a scene where they're like, oh man, we gotta elect an Italian pope because look at the alternative. And he like points at the group of African pope cardinals representatives. Yeah.
Oh, Italians in general are kind of racist.
Yeah. No, we know. Like, that's why European football players that are African American or African descent, they hate playing in Italy. Not all of them hate it. Let me correct myself. But like Moise Keane, Mario Balotelli, Josie Altidore, they all talked about how racist it was in that area.
Well, let me insert my history nerd buff knowledge here that, a lot of the Italians are heavily mixed with the Moors, the Africans. So, hey.
Sicilians.
Yeah. Anyways, the Vatican deals with a lot of PR, apparently. And it's odd to me being a, let's just say not religious person. So, like just the fact like those are the things you're concerned with. Like there's so much going on in the world you're concerned with. I don't know. It's a business, I guess. Above all things, really, it's always just a business. When at the ugly, deep root of it, it's always a business. To me, it's kind of creepy and like inherently sinister looking. This whole movie, they set it up in like this kind of like.
The score was fantastic.
Yeah, there's like a monster in the closet or something.
Sound mixing was fantastic. Like the way they were doing both of those things, the way they were working with sound, as far as the score is concerned, the sound mix is concerned, it was phenomenal. Like it was almost like giving you chicken skin, the way that the score
Chicken
would play.
skin.
I was trying to think of a better way to phrase that, but like that's what it did to you, is they play the score in the background, underlying what they're talking about, and you'd get goosebumps, and you're like, they just asked what was for dinner. Why am I getting goosies?
Yeah, yeah. It starts off. It starts off really slow, but the drama does get good. But there's just an insane twist at the end that is just too much. It is too much. And I went this whole movie thinking that this was a true story. And I was like looking up, like, who is this Pope supposed to be? Is this like the story of the ascension of our most recent Pope?
A cardinal in Kabul. It's a true story.
Yeah, I don't know. But so once this was revealed, I was like, oh, there's no way. And I had to Google it, and I found out that this is a complete, drama made up story.
Awesome.
The ending is just a huge insert kind of PC, jab at the traditions and the kind of hypocrisy of the church. And it was like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, but it was just way too much. Like, for the direction the movie was headed, like they could have ended it before that, and I think that was fine.
I think they could have ended it with just the first Mexican Pope. Oop, ruined it. Spoiler alert.
I'm gonna give this a popcorn and 2 because I was really enjoying it until the very ending. That it was just like, this is too much.
So dialogue is great. So it's time to elect a new pope, and we find that it's done under suspicious conditions. We want to know who was the last person in the room with the pope. How did the pope die? Who is the pope keeping his health from? And who's this random person that the pope has flown in and made a cardinal while existing in Kabul, one of the most anti-Catholic areas of the entire world? All right. It's interesting because you get John Lithgow and you start to wonder, what is conduct detrimental for a pope? Like, what is that? Is there another child scandal? No, that's not what it is. I'm not going to spoil it, but you go through a lot of these things and you have to figure out what is going on. How did the pope actually die? Was it sickness? Why did he do all these things in secret? Did he not trust his own congregation? And why was he hiding all of these things? Who was he protecting?
Did he have a tech deck?
I think it's the politicking for the Pope is also interesting to watch what's going on in the background, how to get votes, who gives their votes to who, why they give their votes to that person. Stanley Tucci is a great actor. Like, he's fantastic, and he should do more like this. It was really good to see Stanley Tucci in another role like this. The end was just to piss people off.
Yeah.
That's the only reason the ending of this movie existed, was just to
Dead
make
horse.
people mad.
Dead horse?
So I'm gonna give it a popcorn and 1. All right, Jordan, you watched another Oscar contender Saturday night.
Oh yes, I did. This is jam packed with actors. I'm not old enough to know everybody being portrayed in this movie. Some of them I definitely know. You got your Jim Belushi's and your
not Chevy.
No, John Belushi.
No, Chevy's
sorry,
in it. Chevy Chase.
Oh,
is in
yeah,
it.
yeah,
that's right.
Chevy Chase, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, and some others in there.
And others, and
Billy
friends.
Billy Crystal, Jim Henson, Andy Kaufman, all that. I'm not old enough. Yeah, I'm just not old enough to know all the other kind of ancillary people that didn't really make those big movie jumps. And it stars, a good mix of like up and coming actors and some major stars. But Dylan O'Brien as Dan Aykroyd kills it. The guy as Chevy Chase kills it because, as we have heard stories of, Chevy Chase is an asshole in real life, and the guy that plays him just nails his mannerisms, his facial expressions and stuff. Really gives you a sense of how much of a jerk Chevy Chase was in real life. Apparently John Belushi was just an absolute madman. Like he was the animal of the Muppets.
That's known.
Yeah, he walked around like the Muppet animal guy. Rah, 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 like just crazy. Just an unhinged.
He's the first Chad.
Unhinged, unmanageable, crazy guy that they just have to like follow around. Like, he's very childlike, and it's interesting. The guy that plays Jim Henson also plays Andy Kaufman. It's the guy from Succession, the tall, kind of gawky guy.
Oh,
the kid?
the cousin Greg.
Yeah.
Cousin Greg. Okay, I don't know the actor's name, but cousin Greg.
Yeah, he was cast as Jim Henson, and he actually does a good job. Like it's not, you could see it, but they do a good enough job to let it pass. It's because Benny Safdie was supposed to play Andy Kaufman, which would have been a great cast, but he had something else going on. He couldn't film the movie anymore. So yeah, it's an interesting.
I'm glad you dug deep there, reporter. He just had something else going on. He couldn't do it.
Yeah, he could do it. It's an interesting and slightly stressful look at the moments leading up to the first taping, or not taping, but the first live showing of Saturday Night Live. It's you're in, you're out. It's a quick movie. It's really funny. I absolutely loved it, but it just felt like certain things were rushed. Certain things you wanted a little bit more of. Like you're in and out of this, and I felt like they could have made this a longer movie, and that would have been fine. At least another 30 minutes would have been great. This is a popcorn and 2.
Popcorn and 2.
Did it suffer
for
from
Saturday night.
the Biggie Smalls movie? You could have definitely used a lot more rapping.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
This is not why I'm here.
Yeah.
Sing for him in the background. He's just like, do it was all a dream. Josh is watching the whole movie.
The fact that I gave this a popcorn and 2, and I gave Conclave a popcorn and 2 is like, it's making me question my judgment, because Saturday Night was significantly better than Conclave, but I just don't know what it is. Like maybe Conclave snuck into a pop 2 for me, and Saturday Night was borderline a pop 3. There's
So we're getting close. We're getting close to having to pick out our top 3 films of the year, guys, like we do every year. So that's next week's episode. So keep that in mind. So Jordan, maybe back pocket that for something that you
red
wanna...
one.
He produces Lady Gaga. Anyway, so I watched Mary following Conclave, and this was a mistake. Mary was not good at all. And I remember seeing the trailer, and the trailer actually had me interested. And you got Anthony Hopkins. So, okay, Anthony Hopkins playing a Mad King. I'm kind of down for this. Let's see where this goes. Anthony Hopkins is pretty amazing. Yeah, it just goes into Anthony Hopkins can't even save this movie. The cinematics were pretty good. The settings were pretty good. It wasn't bad. Like, they must have filmed it on site somewhere. I mean, I guess I could see how they did it on a production set, I guess. But it was really good, the way they worked out the setting. But everything else was bad. The dialogue was terrible. The acting was terrible. It's not even the story of Mary that I wanted to see. It was kind of like they jerry-rigged a bunch of stuff in there. They did some stuff about, King of David. They don't go enough into the King of the Jews and why the Jews are now persecuted and how the Romans have moved in. There's not enough of that. And okay, because the reason I say that is because they kind of go in that direction. They kind of veer away from Mary. But then, okay, we're going to refocus on Mary. Okay, let's focus on Mary, her story. Not enough there. They send her away to, I guess, what's like a seminary school or something, a a nun's conclave or something. But you don't get enough of that either. Then you have some Gabriel, but like Gabriel's just going to show up in a blue trench coat and then disappear again. A couple times kind of been like, yo, I'm Gabriel. You got to do this.
I'm an angel.
If you don't, don't worry, stuff's going to suck, but you're going to be the mother of Jesus. So that's cool. And that's kind of Gabriel's whole pitch. And then you get the devil 3 times, and then Lucifer, pardon me, he's not the devil, but he plays Lucifer. And even then it's it's just, oh, look at how deceptive Lucifer was. I don't know. It was bad.
Wait,
it reminds me of those bad movies with Kirk Cameron. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck. What's the difference between Lucifer and the devil?
Well, just the timeline, right? The timeline it's just Lucifer the angel.
Oh.
The fallen angel Lucifer before they're not referring to him as the king of hell. They're not referring to him as Satan. They're just referring to him Gabriel talks to him. He goes, "My brother Lucifer, what are you doing?"
That pesky Lucifer.
So they did that a couple times. I wouldn't watch it. I would stay away from it, no matter if you're into these weird religious films or not. Don't. It's bad. It's a really bad movie. Don't watch it. It's a popcorn. Anyway, it's gonna make you feel weird.
Yeah.
Jordan, go ahead.
I watched Red One, which has been reviewed on this. It was a butter on top, I believe.
It was a butter on top.
Sure was. So I got to watch that on Amazon Prime. And it was, it's an interesting take on Santa Claus. I like some of the things that they try to play with in making Santa Claus this CEO type of, guy with, he's kind of tough and all that. It's just fun. Everybody's just having fun. I don't think that they get too wrapped up in the ridiculousness of it, even as serious as The Rock really plays his role, like he's The Rock. I still don't get the sense that he really was like, taking himself so seriously in this movie. They just make up acronyms throughout this movie for like ridiculous things like we are the ELF and blah blah blah, whatever the hell they come. It's just a lot of it is a bit much and very corny. My favorite scene of this thing that really sold this for me, I was like, this is fun. I could put this on in the background during Christmas time and just let it roll, was the Krampus schlop.
Yeah, I knew it. I was going to say Krampus.
Yeah, the cool Krampus thing was pretty funny. Seeing The Rock, he's like, he just slapped the hell out of me. I was dying on that. I give this a popcorn. It's a popcorn movie, but I
think I gave it a pop one.
It's fun. It's fun.
Like Chris Evans and Dwayne are good together. They have good chemistry.
Yeah.
Chris Evans
Sometimes
kind of
that's all
annoyed
you
me in
need.
this movie, and I like Chris Evans a lot. He kind of annoyed me.
Why?
He plays that smug kind of anti-hero type guy very well. But I don't know. His character just didn't seem to fit. I don't know what it is.
I think it's time for Chris Evans to lay off the smug asshole. That's how he got into this game, and that's how he's playing it right now. I'm not saying he has to go back to being Cap. I'm saying played another character besides those two characters. Let's do that.
Well, apparently
Josh is telling you to go back to rom-coms.
They're trying to find a way to bring him into some kind of cameo with some upcoming Avenger project as Cap. So we'll see.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I don't necessarily need more Cap, but I would welcome it. I would just like to see him act, like do some more acting. It's like Snowpiercer, for instance. That was a good character.
Yeah. Maybe future classic there. Yeah.
Maybe all of us should just shut up.
Maybe you shut up.
No, we can't do that. This is a podcast. That defeats the purpose. All right, so I watched the Texas cheerleader murder plot. Some of you that were around in the 90s that had parents that were like all into sports and getting you to make the team and pushing you really hard may remember a lot of the jokes revolving around the mother that hired a hitman to kill the cheerleader that beat out her daughter for the cheerleading squad's mother. I hope that sounded clear. Anyway, she hired a hitman to kill another girl's mother. The reason is because this little girl beat out her little girl for the cheerleading squad. But the plot is a lot deeper than that, and it turns out that's not actually what happened. So if you're interested in this story, I would watch it, because it is pretty interesting. It appears to be an old-fashioned setup, but she did say the thing she said. That's what makes it tricky. She does say the thing she said, but it appears they were goading her into this. And if you want to see an alternate perspective, it is told from the daughter's perspective about her mother, about the relationship with the rest of the family, and about the relationship with the person that was hiring the hit person. All right, so the daughter is speaking out, saying, hey, what you people think about my mother, the way you've treated my mother is wrong. Here's why. Here's the truth. Here's what actually happened. And I think parents that live through their kids have always been an issue, right? Like parents that are living out their dreams to their kids.
Yes.
So those are the parents at like the softball game that want to fight the umpire every time their kid gets a bad call. Those are the parents that want to fight other parents in the stand when they're like, chill out, it's just a little league game.
That was
like,
a fantastic South Park episode where he goes, and what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
So, it's literally that environment. It's this mother is doing everything she can to get her daughter to live her dreams, to be the best cheerleader, to be the best dancer, to be the best, a beauty queen or whatever. And she puts her into all these things. But apparently that was the environment in this area of Texas. You put your kids into these things, and your kids had to make it. And you poured all your money, all your funding into making your kids, the popular kid. If he was a boy, you put him in football, you tried to make him the quarterback. If it was the girl, you made her the cheerleader that dated the quarterback. And it goes into all of these dynamics and literally how these people thought back then and what could drive somebody to literally have to kill or need to kill or feel the need to kill. Overall, it was an interesting story. It was okay told. I'm going to give it a popcorn 1 as far as documentaries are concerned. I think if you know the story that I was just referring to, you're going to enjoy this. It's going to be a blast from the past, and it's going to be something that you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, is that what the Burger King logo used to look like? All that stuff's going to pop into your head. All right? So the next thing I watched was Clint Eastwood, a much better film, Juror number 2. And all this is a retelling of 12 Angry Men from the perspective of one of the jurors who may or may not have been involved with what it is they're deliberating on. That is this story, yeah. And it's a ton of 12 Angry Men. It is a ton of Jack Lemmon talking everybody down, saying, are you sure? But Jack Lemmon's not in
guys,
this.
You got to think about this. We got to use our heads.
It's our Allstate friend, or not our Allstate, Farmers. J.K. Simmons is the voice that's trying to talk everybody into it.
Nice.
And then, of course, we have Holt, who is Lex Luthor coming out, right? Clint Eastwood does a good job. I was into this movie. The story was good. Not super fond of the ending. Toni Collette is great. Her accent will sometimes throw me off, the Southern accent. Like, it wasn't always there. It was hit and miss sometimes with her scenes. Yeah, no, she's good, but Toni Collette's pretty good in anything you watch her in. It is something that keeps you thinking. Like, you're wondering, okay, was he distraught? Was the character drunk? Is this character a liar? Is this character questioning something he did? Is the other person a murderer? And at the end of the day, you kind of come to the conclusion that you want to come to, and then you have to deal with that and what comes with the outcome of the jury's decision at the end of the deliberation, and say, hey, how was this influence, and how does this impact the rest of these families, and the rest of how this decision is going to impact their lives, the person's life, the jury's life, the lawyer's life who was elected to be the DA. So I'm going to give this a popcorn 1, but I can see why people are giving it a little bit of Oscar buzz. Jordan, what was your next movie?
The last things I watched were just some, Christmas classics in the rotation. I watched Elf last night, and, just Elf is the movie where when people say they don't like Elf, you just feel sorry for them. Like you are missing some little spark of joy in your life that just doesn't allow you to see the lightness and the humor and the innocence of this movie. So, that's my only new thought about Elf. And I also watched Home Alone 2 that I was showing to my my classes. So I watched it 5 times in a row. And my comment on that is the only way to watch it. From now on, you need to watch it 5 times in a row. Fantastic movie.
Sounds good.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Can you tell us why?
Yeah.
Can you tell us why? Why is that the only way to watch it?
That was sarcasm. That was total sarcasm.
Okay. Your face is blurred out on my screen, so I couldn't see the facial expression. So I was like, did he pick out a new character to only follow that character each time?
No, I mean, the fact that I watch it 5 times in a row and I have no real gripes about it, honestly, it's a good movie. Yeah.
All right. Well, I watched The Madness, starring Coleman Domingo. It's a new show on Netflix about, really, let's see. It's about Antifa framing. It's about the far right framing. It's about CNN and mass media framing. It is interesting, and you don't really have to pick a side because everyone's a villain except for Coleman Domingo in this. Everyone's out to get him, whether it be his employer, CNN, whether it be Antifa, whether it be the far right or the Proud Boy type gang that's in this. Everyone is out to get him, and it's all a plot, and all a plot put together by, and all the strings are being pulled by a billionaire. Because, of course, a billionaire trying to get people to vote for somebody that would push his agenda so he can maintain his billions. Stop me if you've heard this before. It is a play on today's social climate.
Yeah.
The setup scene, the first episode is the peak. Every other episode's just okay. It's a lot of discovery. Oh, it's like 5 episodes of discovery and then discovery. The first episode's fun. It's interesting. You see a lot of passive racism that still exists in certain areas of our, world. The Poconos is where the story starts, and you start to see how nobody wants to help him in the Poconos simply because of the way he looks. And it's modern. It isn't shot in today's time frame. So the acting is good. Coleman Domingo is good in almost anything he does. He's fun. He's interesting. He's a good actor. He played the role well. But at the same time, it's like, I'm going to figure out who's framing me. And then the next thing, I'm going to figure out who's framing me. Oh, I'm going to go figure this out. They might kill me. They're not going to do it, though, because I'm the main character. Like, you get a lot of that, right? It's like in any other situation, if you're not the main character, you do end up dead in a lot of the situations he puts himself into. And he just never ends up dead. And I'm just like, okay, this is just main character energy to keep the story going. That's it. That's all that's happening. I will give it a popcorn. It's not the best show ever. It was just okay. But Coleman Domingo, hats off, man. I'm so happy he's getting his. I heard Sing Sing is amazing, and I want to see it at some point, even though it's a musical that takes place in a prison. I hear that Coleman Domingo is a front runner for Best Actor because of that film. So let me know if you know any of the outlets that it's available on right now. Next thing I watched was The 688, also available on Netflix. This is Tyler Perry's new film about the first and only ever all African-American female regiment to go overseas to Europe, to deploy to Europe. Yeah. So it goes into what happened, all the racism they faced, why they were there, and how a job that some people may look down on could give hope to so many. They're tasked with building and putting together a postal system that would allow all the soldiers to get their letters in place of where the general was putting them all in airplane hangars. Filled 17 airplane hangars with 17 million pieces of mail that was not getting to the soldiers' homes and was not getting to the soldiers that were at war fighting. So it's a good story. The dialogue is rough at times. I put the dialogue as just a note off. Just a note off at times. It's just either you went a little too far or it was too understated. Go ahead, Jordan.
As it usually is with Tyler Perry movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just you're not getting what you want out of it. And again, there's some scenes, there's just too much exposition. You're like, why do I don't need all of this with this scene. This is stupid. Like, and then there's a setup scene where a chaplain arrives at a terrible time, and you don't need that whole scene there. It's almost pointless to have that whole scene there. It was we've already picked up on the racism at them having to hold this event that's inferred. So it's going to be a popcorn movie, but it's a story that everyone should watch. It is a story that everyone should watch. The story is solid. It's just the acting is even really good. I will say that the acting was decent. It wasn't terrible. The worst actor in it was probably the most recognizable actor, Hank, the guy that played Hank from Breaking Bad. He's the general. Yeah. So he was probably the worst acted character in the whole movie. Everyone else did a pretty solid job. There are some scenes that will tug at your heartstrings, even though it's not the best written or best acted scene. You're going to get the impact of what it meant at that era or during that era. So I liked that. But overall, it's just a popcorn. I think it's a 2-hour film. So if you want to put it on and be sad for 2 hours, you can do that. It's kind of inspiring at times, but for the most part, it's a tearjerker. Popcorn. All right. Superman trailer. Josh, give me your thoughts.
Superman trailer. Can't wait. This is the first time. It's not the first time it's happened. First time I really see James Gunn's obvious just vision, right? We got all the superheroes. We got Superman for sure. We got Crypto, and I'm excited about it. Why? It's going to work. I promise it's going to work. He's getting a lot of hate. That's incredible. This movie looks great. Nathan Fillion playing the most obnoxious, this like awful, annoying superhero is great. Green Lantern Guy Gardner as Nathan Fillion or vice versa. Can't wait for that. Superman.
Yeah, I liked Crypto. I thought Crypto was cool. And apparently James Gunn came out and said a lot of the mannerisms of Crypto are based on like the images and videos of his own dog in his phone. What did you think, Jordan?
Yeah, to me, it's obvious, just merchandising, Crypto merchandise. And
doesn't look good though.
You didn't like it?
It looks fine. It looks fine.
I think we're going to get 6 movies out of this.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's going to be the whole new thing.
Peacemaker's
great.
Yeah. I want some more.
You liked Peacemaker?
I loved it.
Yeah. Jordan, he did Peacemaker.
I know. But I didn't like the Suicide Squads at all, either of them.
Well, he only did the second one. I like the second one. Did you say I'm going to punch you? right in the chest.
I don't
not-
dislike James Gunn. It's not like a James Gunn thing. It's just that it looked quirky. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know what to make of it.
Fair
Definitely
enough.
a different tone, a new tone that I'm
Yeah.
welcome. I welcome it
Yeah,
in.
I'm very interested in the new tone.
I
as
just feel like
Josh put it.
Superman doesn't have a lot of depth as a character, and that's just
Yes,
you
that's
know?
always a problem
So,
for me,
you
too.
know, yeah.
But we're gonna dig in and we're gonna find some of that depth, I think. Josh, can you find the depth of your drunk classic soul and tell us what you're pulling out of it?
Got myself into the depths of my attic and found a treasure, something I've seen a lot in my time. You'll find it on the Disney Channel.
I've
It's
seen that.
Iron Will.
Huh. Never seen it.
Yeah, it's the
Never heard
I
of it.
forgot.
the snow dog, right?
Yeah, it's about the Iditarod or whatever, like
Yeah.
snow
Ooh.
dog racing. It's on Disney's and probably Prime.
It's gonna
A
make you
dog
cry.
might die. I'm sorry, a dog might die. I don't remember.
You're gonna cry. I
Oh,
remember
man.
crying.
You're going to cry.
Yeah, you're gonna cry. You're absolutely gonna cry. Iron Will.
But
All right.
I was
and we
I
got-
was actually inspired by this because of your Anaconda with the John Voight. He's a bad guy in this.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it recently.
I hate dogs. That's exactly what
All
happens.
right.
Yeah, he's a Russian.
We have a double feature for your butter on top this week. All right, for our folks in America, they are going to go ahead and watch Nosferatu. All right, for your folks over here in Europe, we're gonna watch Better Man. I think that what's his name? Rob Thomas? Is that no Robbie?
Rob Thomas.
Robbie, I think it's Robbie Thomas. Robbie Jordan.
You're so
Robbie
smooth.
Williams? Is it Robbie Williams?
Millennium.
Yeah, that guy.
Robbie Williams.
Is it Robbie Williams? All right. So that's the story of him, but he is played by a chimpanzee that is done by CGI. So we will see. I actually heard this movie was getting really good reviews from the critics,
Never heard of
critic
this.
screenings.
I'm gonna watch the trailer.
Yeah, you gotta watch the trailer, but that will be my
I'm going to try to watch that
butter
too.
on top. All right. So I appreciate you guys joining us each and every week. Cheers to the beers. Cheers to all of you. And we will see you at the movies. You bring the popcorn, and we got the beer.